Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris Adams,
And I'm Robert Adams.
and we're here with your Method Living Productions 2018 movie preview. There are movies coming out in 2018. Did you know that?
Oh, thank the Lord. I was hoping we'd make it another year with some more movies.
I was hoping that we weren't going to end with 2017 after Mummy and Transformers and all those. 2017 was a good year. We have another video on that. If you have not seen that yet, I'm gonna plug this right at the top. We have a 2017 top 10, our favorite movies essentially of the year. Go watch that video. I'll probably link it below. But yeah, we're gonna talk about some of these really awesome movies that are coming out this year. We're gonna tell you the title of the movie and why you should be looking out for it. What's gonna be interesting about that particular film? So.
Yeah.
Let's get started on the top here. There's a lot of mystery around this one because we haven't gotten a poster, we haven't gotten a trailer, we've barely even gotten an accurate title. It's supposed to be the third installment of the Cloverfield series, tentatively titled God Particle, I believe. I don't know if that's its actual final name yet or not, but...
Which so far, we've had two Cloverfield movies. There was Cloverfield, which was basically a shaky cam kaiju movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was a...
suspense.
Yeah, it was a suspense. People trapped in a basement and who knows what's going on outside type of movie. For the most part, you said you haven't seen 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Not yet, no.
I've seen both of them, and really the only thing that they have similar is that they're called Cloverfield. That they both involve what seems like aliens of some form or another, but that's about it. So who knows what this God particle is about? But again, the way they've been doing marketing on these, like Cloverfield had some really good marketing. 10 Cloverfield Lane, I think it came up to like the month before it was actually going to be released, and all of a sudden the trailer came out and everyone was like, oh, it's a Cloverfield movie. So their marketing has been really weird on these, and that would probably answer why we don't know anything about this movie yet, or even have a full running title, because I believe this is coming out within the next month or two.
Next couple months, yeah. It does sound like it's taking place in space, and so that might be that. They might be telling the origins of the Cloverfield monster. We'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows? It sounds interesting though, especially if they're talking about like the Cloverfield monster and infusing space into it. The next one on our list is going to be something I only just found this just by doing research of the movies that are coming out, but it's the 1517 to Paris.
Not a sequel to the 310 to Yuma.
No, this is actually a movie. It's directed by Clint Eastwood. It's going to be about the 2015 Tallis train attack that happened. It's where three U.S. soldiers stopped a terrorist attack from happening on the train. The thing that is really interesting about this movie to me is not only is Clint Eastwood a fantastic filmmaker, a fantastic director, but the fact that the real guys who were in that actual event, the real soldiers, are portraying themselves in the movie.
This is the first time I think that we've actually had someone that not only was in that role specifically for a historical event, but then they're actually playing themselves. Which you got to understand, especially these guys were soldiers. So coming from the idea that they went through a terrorist attack, which is, obviously really bad, what kind of potentially any PTSD do you get from being involved in some kind of event like that? And then to ask you to turn around and essentially relive the entire event as you film it. You got to recreate your emotions, your feelings, the way you acted. You got to do it almost exactly as you did it before. And that's got to be a huge feat to ask anyone, much less three soldiers who are trained to be soldiers and not trained to be actors.
Exactly.
So this is going to be an amazing, I don't want to call it a stunt, but it's going to be an amazing thing to pull off if it's done right. With Clint Eastwood at the helm, it's probably going to get done right, and this is going to be amazing to see.
Yeah. Next one down on the list here, let's just get right into one of the biggest blockbusters of the year starting out. Black Panther.
Oh, yeah.
This one I'm really looking forward to. Not only because Black Panther is one of my favorite characters from Civil War, probably one of the best breakout characters from that movie. But Chadwick Boseman is killing it lately. He's just on a roll. Between Thurgood Marshall,
James Brown,
James Brown, Jackie Robinson, like portraying all these real life people, and then to move on to playing a royal superhero essentially.
Yeah, this is the thing I've liked about him in this so far, especially his role in Civil War. Is everyone I've talked to absolutely loves how well he committed to that. You can tell a lot when people have like a really bad fake accent, say like Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins. But his accent,
Governor.
yeah, his accent in this is just amazing. Like I am hearing and reading about women just swooning at his accent, and I mean, I'm sorry, but I can see why. That the accent and the way he portrays this character is absolutely amazing. And I wouldn't say like I'm a huge comic book fan. I wouldn't say that Black Panther is one of my favorite characters. I always found like his storyline just kind of blah and off to the side, but what he did in Civil War and now what they're showing in for the movie Black Panther, it looks phenomenal, and I'm really eager to see what they're going to do with this.
Yeah, I mean, his best scene for me was at the end of Civil War when he was talking to Zemo and saying the living aren't done with you yet. Man, that sealed the deal on him being one of my favorite characters in that movie.
Or was he said like we've had enough people giving up or whatever today? Just yeah, that whole speech with Zemo was great.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be an action packed. It's gonna be something a little bit different from Marvel. That's what I love about Marvel is they're doing something a little bit different with each one. Mm-hmm. And I think this is gonna be a really good storyline. I think, man, just. Nothing to say about also the fact that the entire cast, director Ryan Coogler, he's on a roll too with Creed and what's the other one? Oh, Fruit Valley Station. Yeah. But the entire cast is made up of really prominent African American actors too.
Yeah.
You got Chadwick Boseman, you got Forrest Whitaker, you got
I'm sorry I can't pronounce her name, but Denai or Michonne from Walking Dead. Yes.
Yeah, Lupita Nyong'o, and you got Michael B. Jordan. Like all of these are just top notch.
Michael B. Jordan's like a staple in Ryan Coogler movies now.
It's true. They're all just top notch actors. So just based on that cast alone, I'm looking forward to it. Not to say anything that's a Marvel movie too.
Yeah.
But yeah, enough about Black Panther. Let's move on. Go all day on Black Panther. In fact, we will when we do the review.
Yeah.
Now, I'd say these next two movies I actually want to go through real quick because I don't really know a whole lot about them. I've just seen trailers for them, and that's about it. So, Game Night, Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams looks hilarious.
It absolutely looks hysterical. Like, I guess the point of it is a friend tells them to come over, and they end up playing like a Clue-like game where you got to figure out a situation, but they're told that not to believe in anything, and then stuff really does start happening. And even just by watching a trailer, you're left wondering, well, is this supposed to be happening? Is not what actually is going on in this?
Yeah.
So it looks like a total just mind type of
mystery comedy.
Yeah, who knows? But it looks amazing.
It really does look like a movie that wouldn't exist if Clue didn't come first.
Yeah.
Next one would be Annihilation, which I believe was based on a book, but it's starring Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac, and it's a sci-fi, a super sci-fi, real intense looking, maybe sci-fi horror. I don't know,
something like that. Just by reading up on what it's about, her husband goes on this like expedition with a bunch of people. Apparently, they all die except her husband. He comes back all traumatized and injured potentially. So then she goes on an expedition to find out what happened. This, just by the premise alone, that sounds like a dumb idea. Like, all these people went to this, they all died, so let's go to it again.
The worst idea in the long, sad history of bad ideas.
So, it looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. There's another one I actually didn't write down on my list, but I want to include in here just because I saw a brief glimpse of the trailer, and that was Mortal Engines. I really don't know anything about this one. I think it was based off a book also, but it seems to have a pretty good cast, and from what I saw in the trailer, just this one looks like it's blown out with a lot of CG, but another Peter Jackson film. So I just wanted to drop that one in there, even though I know nothing about this, haven't really seen the trailer fully, just seeing pieces of it. do hear that this is going to be one to look out for too. So I just wanted to include that one real quick as we move down our list here. Next one is A Wrinkle in Time. I've seen this trailer
Quite a few times.
in front of every movie that I've been to in the last month and a half.
Yeah.
They've been really pushing this one. I think there's a lot of hype around it. There's a lot of hype around it just because it's based off of a classic book.
A very classic, beloved book. The one like the Newbery Medal. I remember that from like when I was a kid in school. I always saw like the book on the shelf in the library with the medal sticker on there. The fact that this has got like Oprah behind it, which Oprah apparently is on fire after the Golden Globes. So
after her speech,
like
during
almost
the Golden
anything
Globes,
she's touching is turning to gold right now. But it looks interesting. The cast is really diverse on there.
Oprah, Reese Witherspoon, Zach Galifianakis,
And you got Zach Galifianakis in there.
Chris Pine. Yeah.
It's. I don't know what to think of it yet. Unfortunately, I don't remember if I actually read the book. I don't think I did. It basically looks like a little girl that's trying to find her father, and they find some way to bend or wrinkle time. They end up running into like another dimension with these people to help them, is what it seems to look like.
Yeah.
It looks pretty interesting. There's a lot of CGI in it as well. But yeah, that looks really interesting.
And so the big reason why this is one to watch out for is because it's directed by Ava DuVernay. If you don't know her name, there's probably a reason for that. You haven't seen a lot of her movies, but she's a big up-and-coming director. I'd say up-and-coming, but I think she's been in the game for a while. Though one of her more famous movies that she's done recently was Selma. It's a story of Martin Luther King Jr.
And the march
And
on
the
the
march.
bridge.
And so, there's a lot back behind this. On top of that, you said you even looked it up. She's going to be the first African-American female to receive a movie or
To direct a movie with a budget over $100 million. So, I mean, that's a huge icon or milestone to hit.
And so that's the thing you're seeing in Hollywood now with all the female directors like Patty Jenkins directing Wonder Woman, saying that a female director can make money at the box office. Ava DuVernay is going to be an African American female, and I'm going to say right now, this movie's going to make money at the box office. It's going to be number one probably for at least 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I would assume. So this is definitely going to be one to watch out for, especially since she's such a fantastic director. So the next one on the list is going to be Isle of Dogs. I don't know if you've seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, right?
Yes, I have.
So-
I've watched it with some friends, and we turned it into a drinking game, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, gosh. No, it's so Wes Anderson is probably one of the greater directors out there. He's got such a unique vision and unique style. And if you've seen any of his movies, you
Very
can tell
unique.
everything's usually like parallel. Everything is like not parallel, but
Symmetrical.
Yeah. So everything is symmetrical in his movies, and I loved Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's one of my favorite movies. Just based on that alone, I'm looking forward to Isle of Dogs.
That was a cussing good movie.
That was a cussing good movie.
Yeah.
So the next one is going to be, this is another big one that a lot of people are looking forward to that's based on the book. It's Ready Player One. I've not read the book, but this is going to be a Steven Spielberg movie that's basically a pop culture trail mix.
Yeah.
At least pop culture from the 80s, maybe early 90s.
Well, there's just a lot of icons, and the downside is the trailer goes really fast, so you just get quick blurbs and stuff. Like, the biggest thing that I think you notice in the trailer is the fact that basically this kid goes into a virtual world, and at one point, I guess he's just driving around in the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And I've seen like Speed Racer's car, a couple other like iconic looking vehicles and characters. Pretty much like almost everything that I believe it's done by Warner Brothers. So it's everything within Warner Brothers' reach. There's like the Iron Giant, what looks like Ninja Turtles. I even saw Chucky from the Child's Play movies flying through the air fighting soldiers with a knife. Absolutely insane. I think Freddy Krueger was in there.
Yeah. There's just a lot. There's just a lot. There's just a lot packed in there.
Overwatch characters. Just it is insane how much there's in this.
There's a lot packed in there, and so that's for that reason alone. Like, who are you going to trust with this? You're going to trust Steven Spielberg with this.
Yeah.
This is right up his alley, and so I'm really interested in seeing how this one comes out. Going down the list here, we got to mention Deadpool 2.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Deadpool.
Deadpool was not a family-friendly movie, let's put it that
No.
way, but for what they did with the character, they did the character well, and so there's so much hype around the sequel.
Out of all the X-Men movies that they've done, Deadpool has actually made the most money, and it's rated R. And the thing that I really liked about it the most was the fact that this was done by Fox, which Fox has been hit or miss on their X-Men movies, letting people have creative control over it.
Right.
This one, they let the actor, the director, and the writers have complete control over it, completely hands off, and it paid off so much for them that I really hope they take this into heart when they go and do like other X-Men movies, New Mutants coming out, in X-Force movies. And if they try any kind of form of Fantastic Four again, maybe, it would be great if they just approach that with the same ideals.
Yeah. All right, so the next one on the list is going to be Ocean's 8. Now, I know that there's a lot of divisiveness around this one right now because of Ghostbusters, the Ghostbusters reboot that they tried to do with an all-female cast. I'm going to say that this one's probably not going to have the same amount just because the Ocean's movies are not... They're not beloved like the Ghostbusters movies are. They're just movies that existed, and so based on the cast list, I mean, you gotta look at the cast of females who are in this movie.
You got like Sandra Bullock,
Kate Blanchett, Helena Bonham Carter.
Was it Rihanna?
Yeah, Rihanna's in there. Like this is such an eclectic cast of ladies just leading this movie. I'm interested because after watching the trailer, I think that not only did they capture the style of the original Ocean trilogy. I think it's just going to be a really good entry into that world, into that whatever the Ocean's universe.
Yeah,
it's their universe. This is one that people have been waiting for 14 years. People love the original. It's The Incredibles 2. This has been one of the more beloved Pixar movies. It's got such a huge following, and
it's kind of weird that we've gotten like another Finding Nemo. We've gotten 2 Cars sequels. And we're just now getting back to Incredibles.
Right. I understand getting the Toy Story sequels out there before Incredibles 2, but...
Yeah.
Cars?
Yeah.
But yeah, Incredibles 2 looks... I mean, there hasn't been much released from it. It's just been the teaser showing little Jack's powers. That's enough for a lot of people to freak out over. Incredibles 2 is coming. It's coming. It's coming out this summer, and a lot of people are excited for it, so that's going to be one to watch. Jurassic World 2 is also on the list here. It's the sequel to Jurassic World. I mean, Jurassic World for me was just... It was an alright movie.
It was an alright movie.
I don't think there's anything really stand out about it. And so, fine. I'm looking forward to seeing Chris Pratt on the movie screen again. I love Chris Pratt.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that's really got me interested in this is the fact that... not only were we told that this was going to be return of Jeff Goldblum playing Ian Malcolm again, but we were also promised to see more of Bryce Dallas Howard running in high heels away from a giant T-Rex. I don't know about that one, but that would be interesting to see if they make any kind of nods or jokes to the funniest blunder, at least, of Jurassic World.
Yeah.
But back to Jeff Goldblum, absolutely amazing, eager, and really excited to see him back in it. Now, if they could get Sam Neill, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think he wants to. Next one on the list, just moving along here, is the Marvel movie coming out later this year. It's Ant-Man and the Wasp. I loved the original Ant-Man. Paul Rudd is a national treasure.
Yeah.
And so him and Evangeline Lilly coming back and finally putting her in that Wasp costume.
And I will say, when Ant-Man first came out, I was like, this is really, this is, out of all the characters to have their own comic book movie, Ant-Man? Really? I mean, why don't we do Squirrel Girl while we're at it, too? I mean... but Ant-Man was actually a really good movie. I still believe that there's no real reason for it to exist, but it was a good movie, and I am looking forward to the sequel in which we're going to have, Evangeline Lilly is going to be putting on the Wasp costume. We've also got newcomer Michelle Pfeiffer playing Janet Van Dyne, the original Wasp. Not exactly sure of this Michelle Pfeiffer woman, but I heard she's a good up-and-coming actress, and hopefully she'll be good in this.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, she's
who knows? After this, she could probably play like Catwoman or something. I don't know.
She's got a big mountain to climb after the first Ant-Man movie, so we'll see. This next one, I believe, is based off of either an anime or a manga. It could be both. I'm not really sure of the source material, but all I did was I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, this looks interesting. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be Alita Battle Angel, which apparently is called Battle Angel Alita in the original source material, but a lot of people confused over that. But James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez are behind this. That's an interesting combo.
That's a weird team up, yeah.
Not only that, but the graphics, as weird as they are, look pretty stellar.
This is the one where pretty much the whole movie is live action with the exception of her.
Yeah.
And that she is...
I think she's completely mocap.
Yeah, like she's a CGI motion capture character, and it looks really odd the way it's done. This is basically like a futuristic CGI Who Framed Roger Rabbit with like the animation and the live action.
Yeah. So she's a cyborg. I think there's people after her. I don't really know the story of it. I just know that based off the trailer alone. I'm like, I'll go see that. Yeah. I'm interested. Let's mention this one real quick. Venom. They're doing a Venom movie without Spider-Man. Tom Hardy is the reason why I'm interested in this movie.
Tom Hardy as
otherwise
Eddie,
I wouldn't be.
Yeah, Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock is phenomenal casting, much better than Topher Grace.
Oh gosh,
because Tom Hardy brings that muscle, the gravitas that you need for Eddie Brock. Mm-hmm. The problem though is, since we have not properly introduced Venom in the Spider-Man universe, it's really hard to do Venom without introducing him through Spider-Man first, because you have to do the whole black costume symbiote thing. They tried to do it in Spider-Man 3, but again, Topher Grace and the fact of how much they packed into Spider-Man 3 was just another good instance of studio interference, because they demanded that Venom was in there and Sam Raimi didn't want to do it. But this is a whole movie dedicated to Venom without, as far as we know, it's not even going to be connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Sound like it.
So there's no Spider-Man at all whatsoever at this point as far as we know. So he's just going to randomly pop up and have this symbiote already. So it's going to be kind of weird to see if this works out.
How are they going to do it?
Otherwise, the casting, I'm all for it. So...
Yeah, so that, and speaking of Spider-Man, we'll just mention this one real quick. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He finally got Miles Morales. A lot of people want to see him come to the screen. Well, he's going to be in an animated movie. And the animation looks really crazy on this one.
Yeah. I don't know, like, why Sony is doing a theatrical animated movie for Spider-Man.
I'll see it, though.
I'm going to see it, but I think it's going to confuse a lot of the audience as to why there's just this random Spider-Man in the movie theater, which seemingly also is not connected to either Venom or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's just Sony doing this because they can. So people have asked for Miles Morales in a movie. They're going to give people Miles Morales in a movie.
Yep.
I guess that's why. We've barely seen anything. We've seen a small trailer, and hopefully it's going to be good, but...
Yeah, I'm interested, though.
I'll have to wait to see more before I can give more of an opinion of how I feel about it.
In the X-Men universe, let's mention X-Men Dark Phoenix. Honestly, my interest in X-Men is dwindling. It really is. And I think that's for good reason. X-Men Dark Phoenix looks like it's probably going to be the last X-Men movie in the saga, because Disney bought 21st Century Fox. Looks like it's going to be, looks like they're going to reboot it, so...
Yeah, and this is basically going to be their second shot at doing... the Dark Phoenix saga, which they tried to do in X-Men 3 or X-Men The Last Stand, and it was done terribly. So we're going to try this again. As of right now, as far as we know, the villain is going to be Jessica Chastain, which we haven't been confirmed, but suspicion is leading her to be the Empress Lilandra from the Shi'ar alien race. In the comics, Dark Phoenix does something that inadvertently wipes out a planet, and Lilandra comes in demanding basically Phoenix's head on a spike, which it leaves the X-Men torn because Phoenix is still Jean Grey. Mm-hmm. So they don't want to give her up or surrender her, but it's a really good storyline. It's a massive storyline for the X-Men.
And we'll see how this
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
All right, so next on the list, speaking of comic book movies, later this year is Aquaman.
Yeah, that's just weird that, like, Aquaman, after all these years of him being made fun of and stuff, he's actually getting his own movie. And given how he was in Justice League, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I think it might actually be pretty good.
It's not Zack Snyder directing it, so
Which is a good thing.
It's got that going for it. It's just something that Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League did not have going for them. Well, half of Justice League anyway.
Yeah.
Also, I think coming out towards the end of the year, I'm not sure really. I don't know if they've really given a specific release date for it yet or not, but it's Creed 2. I don't know if you've seen the first Creed. It's amazing.
Yeah. This pretty much anything that's going to be a continuation of the Rocky franchise. This is going to be amazing, with the exception of Rocky 5. But we won't talk about that. Let's talk about Creed.
Yeah, so apparently this is supposed to be reintroducing Ivan Drago, and from what I hear, it's supposed to be young Creed versus young Drago in a fight. And if you've seen Rocky 4, spoilers, it's been out for however long. Ivan Drago killed Apollo Creed. Mm-hmm. And so this is going to be Adonis. This is going to be his kind of revenge tour.
Yeah.
Towards the Drago family, and it's going to be an interesting take, like a Sins of the Father type. I know these two are going to be ones that we're both kind of looking forward to individually. For me, it's going to be First Man. Not a whole lot is known about this, other than if you kind of follow the inside track or following the movies that are coming out, movies that are being made. First Man is what I'm looking forward to because it returns or reunites Ryan Gosling with Damien Chazelle, the director. And what this movie is it's going to be the biopic of Neil Armstrong going to space. And for Damien Chazelle, like he's 2 for 2 in my book so far with Whiplash and La La Land. Both of them I really enjoyed. And so I'm looking forward to anything else that he's going to put out as an up-and-coming director.
And I'm actually really surprised we haven't had a Neil Armstrong biopic already. I mean, First Man on the Moon, how have we not had like a movie about him coming out like every 5 years or so?
Oh, it's because the moon landing was a hoax.
Oh, that's right.
And the Earth is flat.
Yes.
Anyway, no, I'm really looking forward to this because Damien Chazelle, so far, everything he's touched has been gold for me. Even if La La Land only had the best picture for 2 minutes, it still had the best picture for 2 minutes. It's pretty cool. The next one I know you're looking forward to a little bit more than me because you grew up with this one. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be Mary Poppins 2.
Returns.
The Return. Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah. That one's going to be fantastic as it's going to star Emily Blunt, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
And that's why I'm looking forward to it because Moana was great and he did the music for that. And Hamilton is a fantastic Broadway show that I've only listened to the soundtrack of and really I would actually like to see.
And the thing I'm actually most looking forward to in that movie is the portrayal of Mary Poppins by Yondu as Mary Poppins, y'all.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Yeah. It would be hilarious if they actually...
In all seriousness, Emily Blunt looks like she's going to be a fantastic Mary Poppins. And I did. I watched that movie almost every weekend when I was a kid. So I'm a big fan of Mary Poppins and Dick Van Dyke's terrible Cockney accent. But hopefully...
Mary Poppins.
Yeah. Mary Poppins.
Second time in one video.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to it just for the sake of Lin-Manuel Miranda. I might need to go back and watch the first Mary Poppins because I think I've seen it. Mm-hmm. But it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
One of the big ones for this year, and you might be like, why haven't we talked about this yet? Well, because we wanted to save this one a little bit. Solo, A Star Wars Story. This is one of the big ones coming out this year. I believe it comes out towards the end of May. And that's, it's tracking right now, I guess, because of all the production issues that Solo has had so far. They're saying this might be the lowest income earner, the lowest earnings in the box office for a Star Wars movie. And I believe that.
Yeah, because we switched out the director. It was it Phil Lord and Chris Miller,
yeah.
Who did the Lego movie, and they were set to direct it, and they started directing it, and then they left over creative differences or something, and then they brought in Ron Howard, which I love Ron Howard, but Ron Howard doesn't have the greatest track record as of late. His movies have been more miss than hits, so it's going to be kind of weird to see how this one plays out.
Yeah. And especially considering just the box office for the month of May, like it just seems weird to me that they're putting it towards the end of May. I know they're trying to match up with the original Star Wars, but I feel like I feel like for some reason that towards the end of May, they should have saved it a little bit, just because I feel like the box office in May is going to be taken up by something else, and they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot with trying to introduce Solo, a Star Wars story, at the end of that month as well. I don't know, but yeah, looking forward to it. Star Wars always plays. Star Wars is Star Wars, and Han Solo is an iconic character, so we'll see how Alden Ehrenreich does as the role, and Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian.
That is some good casting.
That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see. I think that's. I don't think we're. I think we got it all.
That was pretty much it. I
I think we
believe.
hit every big movie.
I believe so.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Oh yeah, except for one.
Avengers: Infinity War.
Big old purple man here is gonna come and take over the world.
Yeah, this is going to be quite possibly one of the biggest movies ever made. As far as what we were talking about as stuff tracking, it is tracking to be just a massively huge hit. This is the culmination of everything that Marvel has been doing ever since Iron Man back in 2008. This is what...
This is 10 years in the making. This is 10, going from 2008 to 2018. This has been 10 years building up, and they have played it right the entire way through. They have earned this moment. I'm looking forward to it. Everyone's looking forward to it.
I'm super psyched for it. I'm a big fan of the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. It's one of the best major Marvel storylines from the comics. So I'm so looking forward to this movie. I'm a little disappointed that so far it looks like we're not going to get characters that I thought were big in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. So we don't have Silver Surfer, and it looks like we're also not going to get Adam Warlock in this one yet.
You never know. They lie about things all the time. Yeah. We'll see.
But this is going to be, like I said, one of the biggest movies ever, and it looks phenomenal. Thanos, the big purple guy, it looks like he's just going to just wreak complete havoc out of all the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like the team up of everyone in this movie is just amazing.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a huge monumental movie for this year. I mean, yeah, 10 years building it up. That's crazy. And you look at the amount of actors and people that they have built over the course of that 10 years that are going to be in this movie. I mean, this is I think the fact that they've done this over such a long period of time, all these actors understand the story and what Marvel's trying to do, that they're like, you know what? I'm okay if my paycheck's a little bit less so we can get this story out there, because I know we have to hire. Everybody's got to be in this movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be one to look forward to. I'm saying right now, it's definitely going to beat The Last Jedi's box office numbers for sure.
Oh, if not more than that, we're probably closer to The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I'm thinking that it needs to come out pretty close to Force Awakens.
If not, overpassing it or overtaking it, being the highest grossing movie of all time ever,
domestically at least.
Oh,
I don't
both.
know. I don't know if it's going to beat Avatar. You remember, Avatar still has that 3D money, but worldwide is still sitting at $2.7 billion. I don't think any movie is ever going to come close to that.
If any movie has that ability, it would be this one.
That said, we saved the best for last there. Everything else, we covered all throughout this list here. 2018 looks good. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to these movies. And looking forward to what we're doing here on the channel.
Yeah.
Keep watching. We got more stuff coming out soon. I know the next big movie that we're going to be doing a review for will probably end up being one of the movies on this list will be Black Panther. I don't know if there's anything else coming out before that we're really going to be able to catch or see. I might watch a couple movies if I find the time, and I might do quick 1-minute reviews, toss them up on the Instagram, which if you're not following, follow Method Living Productions on Instagram. The link's going to be in the description, or not the link, but the follow address. Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Follow us on all platforms there. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We would really appreciate that. And then you get to see what's coming up next.
Yeah.
Another bird in the ear. Look out for Oscar nominations when those come out. We're going to be doing something for that as well. So that's what to look forward to. Do the YouTube thing. Subscribe, comment, like. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
And we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Yeah.